Are you a dad? Are you a man? Are you a girl who likes really cool movies also? These are the movies that you really should be checking out, movies you should be watching. I'm here with none other than the Dad Man. We did this part one before. It got cut a little bit short due to technical difficulties. And I want to start this one out by kind of going back to some of the ones we discussed but didn't make it. Also, movies you mentioned that I've had the time to finally watch.
Okay, cool.
Two of them being Braveheart
Okay.
and Event Horizon. So, just
You saw them both?
I did, yeah, and definitely must watch film. Well, Braveheart for sure must watch. Event Horizon is, in my opinion, it's still very similar to kind of what I thought previously. It's a good idea. Maybe wasn't executed that well. So maybe we start there.
I like it. You don't think? Well, I really can't find fault with it. Really liked it a lot. I mean, I can understand. I'm not saying it's always going to appeal to other people the way it appealed to me. I don't know, the concept of going beyond human understanding. To me, those movies, and that's why I like Hellraiser and this movie were the only two that I'm aware of where, they kind of talk about, beyond heaven and hell, beyond any thing that a person could understand, appeals to me. So I may have overlooked some things. I didn't see issues with the execution. I mean, maybe you did in a more critical eye, and I don't disagree with anything you would say in that respect. I really like that movie. I've actually watched it 3 times, and I never watch a movie 3 times.
Yeah, it's nothing I would put my finger on specifically and pinpoint and say this is not good. It just never truly excelled and took that really killer premise and expanded upon it, I guess, is the main critique that I would have, because maybe outside of the visuals, and it doesn't overdo it, which I think is generally a really good idea, because then it leaves your imagination to do the heavy work.
Right.
And also the look of the magnetic engine, or
Oh yeah.
which the thing I like a lot about that, I'm going to turn this down here a little bit, is that it actually kind of resembles what a biblical angel is described to look like. Like, I think one of the angels actually
Supposed to have a lot of eyes or something, I think, is one of the...
Yeah, there's multiple ones, but they almost look terrifying in many accounts.
Right. Well, I like the way they made that look, because it really... They got very creative in the way that they would look. They didn't make it just... It's like just... I don't know. It's they create a magnetic field or something that allows them to travel it beyond light.
Yeah.
Light speed.
Yeah, it did a lot well. I thought it was very good, but I also thought it could have been... And I think I'm going to turn it down. I think I turned it up. All right, that should be good.
God, he's stupid.
Let's try that. Okay. That's
good?
That's better, yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I just thought it was very good, but it could have been excellent.
To me, it's just a favorite of mine, and so it may not even really fit in the guy movie category, but dad movie category. It's one that I'm a dad, so I get to go out on a limb a little bit. Drop that.
You get liberal, creative freedom.
Yeah, poetic license.
Speaking of freedom,
Yes,
Braveheart is all that in a bag of chips.
it is.
I'm glad you hounded me so aggressively because I watched it like the next day after recording because of that.
Well, it's good. It's good as a drama, but then the battle scenes were just killer.
Really
just
good effects.
Crazy good. Yeah.
And the speeches for sure are super like. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Like sports movies get me hype when there's like those motivational kind of halftime speeches, a la Friday Night Lights, Miracle. That type shit is like some of my favorite.
Yeah. Some of them, I mean, you can get cliche-ish. And I'm a little more, I don't know, cynical when it comes to those. But some still, the one from, what was the hockey movie? Okay.
Miracle.
Yeah. Okay. That I thought was good. That was good. The one from Friday Night Lights I thought was good. It stands up. You know what I mean? It's not too cliche-ish at all. What else was I going to say? Some of them, the other ones, get a little whatever. You know what I mean? It's not life-changing. And they're trying to be life-changing with with those speeches and stuff. So the sports movies don't get me the way they used to. You get cynical as you get older. So it's like, whatever. Okay, whatever. You've heard too many of these. And
It is there's not a lot of good ones. There's the same kind of list that I keep going back to.
Well, I would say those two stand up. What else? I don't know of any others I can really think of. Maybe the one in Rocky.
Speeches.
Remember the Titans, I think, yeah.
Remember the Titans.
Because
really
well, the big one was in the cemetery of Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And that one, I mean, that transcends sports. We were just talking about race, but like, not hating on your brother, who might be a different race than you. So it went beyond sports.
They're making a sequel to that.
Remember the Titans?
Yeah, it's modern day, and this school's trying to bring segregation back. It's very interesting.
Are you serious?
And they win the state title.
Shut up.
They're all black.
Oh, wow, that'd be good.
No one sees it coming.
Yeah. Oh, we're for racism in this one.
Yeah, but as far as like sports movies go, like, yeah, it's a very limited pool of like what's actually good. There's a lot that are too cliche and too like not schlocky, but cheesy, I guess is the best word. It's a very easy like subgenre to. But I would assume if you're a dad, you're a guy, sports movies are kind of your shindig. I like Any Given Sunday. Al Pacino's speech really gets the electricity going.
Yeah,
because that
I don't remember it that well.
It feels. You just have to watch it. It might actually be the best because it is kind of like he's like, I'm flawed.
Yeah.
But like if we just come together in this moment,
we can achieve greatness.
Kind of deal. It's like, I fucked up. I'm a fuck up. Despite being a head coach. And you guys are fucking up because you're not having each other's back. But that's what you need to be a winner. We can't like, because there's all these subplots where Willie Beeman is the most talented, but he lets it go to his head.
Yeah.
And Cap, the quarterback, was the dude for so long that it's kind of like maybe it's best to just let him go out on his shield, but his back is completely shot, so he can't play. And Lawrence Taylor's like basically playing for a bonus. The running back's playing for a bonus, which is the type of shit that, like, if you're going to do a pro football movie, you need to go into that because that is such a little thing that people rarely take into consideration.
But it's real, though. I mean, I'm glad they did do that. I'm glad.
Yeah, the movie
because you do. I mean,
rooted in realism. I think.
We're not all heroic. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that they're like non-heroic for playing for, but that's what people do. Now they're at a different level, professional athletes, but their window's very small to make that money that's going to have to last them the rest of their lives. People want money, you know, and they're motivated to do it, and they want the opportunity to do it, and that's what. So I'm glad it wasn't overly, and it wasn't. It was kind of, you know, gritty.
Yeah.
You know, because you're right. The head coach.
You need the other thing about football movies specifically, which I'm talking about mostly because that's like my favorite sport. So if a movie's gonna really get me, it's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be about tennis. No,
I
it's
did
not.
watch a good tennis movie recently.
Was that the oh my
that
God.
Challengers movie? Yeah.
Are you serious?
It was good. I mean, maybe I've bought into the liberal Hollywood agenda, but I can respect a good movie even if.
Well, yeah, I don't care. I mean, it can have that. It can have that.
Which is not like the biggest thing is that this chick
she can't
banged
play
both
anymore?
of the dudes.
Yeah, that's. You thought that was awesome or what?
No, I mean, well, the one he's not a cuck, but
It's that
you could
it's
kind
that
of say
chick from Dune. Is that who it is?
yeah,
Okay.
Zendaya.
Yeah.
Which you know you're badass if you go by one name.
Well, Cher did, and you know how badass was
She's
she?
really badass.
Okay.
Sonny and Cher, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah.
a show back in the day.
Did you know how he died?
Didn't he get bit by a kimono dragon?
No, I don't know where you got that from. He was skiing and he ran into a tree. I believe that's true. I believe.
That's a
I could
fun
be
way to
wrong. I
go.
have to look that up. But you know who else did? Liam Neeson's wife.
Died that way.
Yeah,
Seems like
it's dangerous. Maybe. Very
like they shot themselves in the head 9 times. Can you believe it?
and they died. My
They
God.
chopped themselves into little bitty pieces. Yeah, I think the last movie I talked about last time. I'll let you go because I pushed the ball this last time. So
He pushed the ball.
yeah, I'm not very.
He became. I forgot about that. He was.
He's famous from Taken. He's also in another movie
That's
we
Liam
discussed.
Neeson. I'm talking about Sonny Bono.
I thought it was Sonny Homo. Wasn't he homosexual?
He was. That's why he changed his name to Bono, so people didn't know.
Oh, they stopped picking.
He hit
on
a
him.
tree while skiing. Okay. Just another
You're
tidbit.
supposed to avoid those, right?
Well, it's up to you, man. You know, when you go down the mountain,
Ski at your
it's
own
you in
risk.
the mountain, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to hit the tree, hit the tree. I don't think you should.
You
And
should
I've never
slow
skied.
down at the very least before hitting it.
Yeah. Try not to hit it with your head or neck. So, I thought of some today. There's one called, and you never saw Andromeda Strain. They remade it. So you may have seen the remake.
Never seen it.
You should watch that. It's an older movie. The special effects aren't bad for the day. It's about a virus and how it could
It's spread
be.
by monkeys.
No, that is 21 Days. The monkeys.
Well, that's
Remember that?
apes. You know they're making 28 years later. That's coming out.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah. I mean, I saw 1 and 2.
You saw Weeks.
Yeah, which
I
is
haven't
good.
seen Weeks yet. I saw
20,
Days.
28 weeks is good.
Days is good. I've heard that Weeks isn't as good as Days. Agree or disagree?
I think it's as good.
Danny Boyle's a hell of a director.
It was. I mean, it was different, somewhat different, but it was really good.
Yeah. But the first one was really good. There's some commentary that is like, any apocalyptic movie you can kind of come into.
Yeah.
It's like, it becomes man is ultimately the most capable of evil, even more so than a strain of. Because there's no consciousness, so it's not truly evil. Like the zombies.
Yeah, it is. That's what it does. It's what that's its nature.
Yeah.
Like a disease, right? It's not. We perceive it as evil, and it does evil things to us, but it's not evil. I mean, it does. It doesn't know. It just does what it does. It reproduces and mutates.
So the saying you've said before, and I've said and I've heard a ton, is hard times create hard people.
Hard men. Well,
Hard men.
people.
And hard men create easy times, which create soft
Soft
people.
men, yeah.
But this movie is like, well, when the times get extremely tough, and I think we would even all agree to this. I mean, there's revolutions and stuff, which you could argue are great men, but and maybe in the lead up to that, you're going to create evil people, or people's potential for evil will maybe expound to where it wouldn't have if they were complacent or comfortable. And that is something the movie does well. Is the military people are ultimately kind of nasty fucks, because they're the ultimate power.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they just want women.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Correct. Now, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I said that.
No, you didn't.
We'll rewind the tape. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Correct. You can.
And
to embarrass
the road
yourself.
to hell is paved with good intentions, which maybe to
I don't
them.
know. I don't know why you would say that.
Well,
it's not
to them.
relevant.
They think they have to reproduce. They're thinking what is the greatest societal need, and it is to
By the
reproduce.
Army?
Well, in their mind, that's probably the type of people that they think should be reproducing. Do you think it's like?
I don't think it's
scientists?
got anything to do with reproduction. I think, and there's a scene in that movie where the guy who's probably a colonel, or maybe I don't know, he's the lead commander, and
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, his brother. That he was doing rounds or whatever, walking around, and they possess, I don't know what it is, an estate or something, but one guy was going to kill himself. And it's like, even though they've survived, that they're, without women, there was no reason to live.
Can't live with them, can't live without them.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yep.
Am I right, guys and girls listening?
Yeah, girls, you don't like each other more than we don't like you. I'm just saying.
And this is a good time to remind you to subscribe. If you're female and especially male. I mean, we made this for you if you're male. But if you're female and you're listening,
yeah,
you're doing your due diligence.
Well,
this is going to make
just like all the other girls and subscribe. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. And we're nice guys. We really are. There's some women in our lives that we treat very well. They don't even deserve it. But we're
women,
nice people.
You know this for a fact. If a man especially tells you they're a nice guy,
they are.
They are. They don't lie about that. They're not creepy or anything after saying that.
No.
I'm a nice guy. They
Nice.
say it in that tone of voice too.
Yeah, it's a whiny.
They're like pissed that you're not.
You don't believe them.
Yeah. So, I'm just gonna jump to Manhunter. If you've seen Red Dragon, maybe you like Red Dragon more. I want to say I think Michael Mann was the man for a very long time. He's still good. He's still coming out with stuff. I believe he came out with Ferrari most recently. But he really was in his prime
heyday
in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 90s too. He came out with
Did
Heat.
he make Miami Vice? Was that him?
He did. I haven't seen that yet, but he made
he did the series, I think.
That I am not sure of. I'll take your word for it, but he definitely made the movie with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx.
Oh my God, was that awful?
Never seen it.
It is stupid.
Never seen it.
It's just trying to do this real understated darkness. It's like, oh my God, what are you guys doing? You could make this fun. It was stupid. I didn't understand what the point of it was. It just seemed like, I don't know. It was just, you must be staring at a blank screen. They took a boat over to Cuba from Florida for some reason. I don't know. I think they showed the entire trip. It was just, what is
There's
this
a lot of
movie
good
about?
dialogue they couldn't cut out.
There was no dialogue. It was awful.
Don't you like being on boats?
Oh, that's my favorite. Yeah. And it was at night. Don't get me started. I only saw part of it. I think I just gave up.
Well, he did make To Live and Die in LA, which is really good. And he also... Wait, shit. Am I right on this? Let me double check. Okay, Michael Mann. He did not make To Live and Die in LA. I'm thinking of someone else. That's William Friedkin. William Peterson, the lead, is also the lead in To Live and Die in L.A. And he made Thief, he made Heat, he made Collateral. I haven't seen The Last of the Mohicans. He made The Insider. Those are all good movies. Heat is my favorite of the group. But Manhunter, I think you maybe grew up on if you're, around your age.
I
Or
did see it.
What'd you think?
I shouldn't comment because I don't know. I kind of remember it because didn't it come out after Silence of the Lambs?
No,
No?
before.
Before?
Because it was in 86 is when that came out.
Okay. I just wanted to say Michael Mann was executive producer for Miami Vice. He didn't direct it, but he was executive producer, so he was involved. Was it like Hannibal Lecter, like very different?
Well, he wasn't quite Anthony Hopkins level. He didn't steal the scenes, but he was very good in the scenes he was in.
Okay. I thought he was kind of like a lump type looking guy, like a potato.
You've definitely seen the actor who's played him.
Now, the guy
been in
from
other stuff.
CSI, the original CSI, is he?
That's the guy from Manhunter.
Okay. All right.
William Peterson, yeah.
Okay.
But it's very much the same story beats as Red Dragon. And you honestly you have better performances in Red Dragon with Edward Norton, Philip Seymour Hoffman as the reporter, and obviously Anthony Hopkins. But it's the movie making that I really like. It's got because 80s
Manhunter?
Yeah.
Okay.
80s style can be looked at as like very cheesy, flashy, but I really liked it. There was some distinct decisions made that I appreciated that actually put it slightly over the edge of Red Dragon.
Oh, cool. Maybe I'll rewatch it because I have seen parts of it.
Ralph Fiennes is in Red Dragon as well, who's a tremendous performance. But the guy who plays the Red Dragon in this one does it very well. And he's like 6'8".
Okay, that's what I thought. He was a bigger guy, right?
Big, tall guy, yeah.
Okay. That was who Ralph Fiennes played.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, he was. It was different. His was different. Okay. So I think I'll watch that. So essentially, it's just Red Dragon, right?
Yeah. I mean, the story beats are the same. So
Does he try to eat the picture of it?
I don't actually No, because he never goes to the museum and does that.
Yeah.
But he does, and I think this is a scene that's in the, Red Dragon. The blind girl is a character, again, and he takes her to see a lion, which I think they did in both.
Yeah, it's a tiger.
Or a tiger, yeah.
I mean, not that it matters, but...
Tony the tiger.
I stutter and he makes fun of me.
But I like the 80s. Even though it's, there's not a ton of ideas that are good. I mean, that's clearly a good one. Because I like both iterations of Red Dragon.
I may have to... I did see it. I can't remember it well. Probably... I do remember liking it. But I don't know. I just... Maybe... There wasn't anything lacking of it. I just... For some reason, it didn't... I don't remember it very well.
It does come down... I mean, I'm a performance guy myself. But, I was very impressed with the editing, the actual visuals. Because I do think that's one thing that... And I think it's... I'm not sure who makes Red Dragon. I want to say Ridley Scott, but I think he made Hannibal. I don't think he made Red Dragon. But anywho, whoever made it, there's like a filter or the color scheme of it. It's like the 2000s thing to do is kind of make it, almost take out the colors that pop. This, despite being, a gritty crime drama about this sadistic serial killer, still has those colors that pop. And I fucking love watching movies like that.
Yeah, 80s did that. They were very...
60s and 70s are beautiful when it comes to that shit too.
Some of them, yeah. I mean, some of the cinematography in like westerns is just phenomenal.
I know.
But that's a dead breed almost. I mean, you may see one occasionally, a western, but I don't know when they started to die out. That might be a societal thing, to be perfectly honest. Because the Western is aspect of founding of the United States of individualism. The people that pushed, westward. It was very dangerous. They were risk takers. There were people seeking fortune or whatever, something, but they weren't people who, stayed east and just lived a more mundane life. So that's what the Western is. It portrays those folks who did that stuff. Very dangerous living, some of those people were just, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, they had no protection. And the Native Americans weren't too happy with them moving out to the far west. So,
and that's why you get a lot of westerns, traditional American westerns, pre-spaghetti westerns, are looked at in a revisionist light. And what I mean by that is people now look back and criticize it with modern standards because of the hate of Indians. But I think to your point, that would have been the mentality of those people who were pushing west and maybe being attacked by Indians. I mean, just putting that out there.
We were like, the thought process way back when was that they were savages. And there was something called, I can't remember who did this. Maybe it's Fillmore. It was called Manifest Destiny, which meant,
was it Andrew Jackson perhaps?
It could have been. I'll have to look that up. But it meant you make your destiny. We will manifest it, and so basically we're going to take this country. Not only that, I mean it justified us taking Guam, Philippines. We didn't take the Philippines, but our involvement overseas. We looked as we sailed by. It's like, hey, we could we'll stop there on the way back. Mm-hmm. But our expansionism. That's what it gave us. We said, well, we're going to expand because we're predestined by God.
That's what I was going to say. It has religious roots, if I'm not, to Catholicism, right? Because we were
Judeo-Christian, but not, you have to remember, Catholicism was just a portion of the Christianity,
Christianity, just Christian. I always say Catholicism when I mean, because I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the only religion that exists.
Yeah. I don't know if people know that, but
it makes me more British just thinking about it. Do you want me to hit you with three more while you look it up?
Sure, yeah.
To me, I think the Roger Moore and Sean Connery James Bond films are dad movies. And I have three specific ones that I want to shout out. But I think really all of them are worth a watch. First, I want to go with The Spy Who Loved Me. That is the first one in which Jaws is in. I fucking love Jaws. Best henchman of all time. Goldfinger, which is among the best James Bond films ever made. And then From Russia with Love, which has...
I think that was the first one.
Dr. No is the first one.
Oh.
But it has the titular villain of Robert Shaw. And it is very, very good. All three, very much worth watching, but those are the timeless James Bond films as far as I'm concerned. And the very good quality...
Well, they say Goldfinger's the classic.
I mentioned it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mentioned three.
I should listen when you talk.
The Spy Who Loved Me, Goldfinger, and From Russia with Love.
Thunderball is one of my favorites.
That, I
know,
don't want to... The underwater... I need to rewatch it because you're not alone. It's a very polarizing movie, but some people love it. And I think... I mean, it was the first time I saw it. So
is that the one...
It's underwater, mostly.
Yeah, then that kind of takes away. But is that the one where he has this small helicopter? There's one where he is somewhere...
I've seen them all. I honestly can't remember.
And
but there's someone who's in makeup, or not in makeup. He's like in costume as he's dead at the end. It's a funeral for James Bond where he's like undercover, fights the guy, and kills him in like a fireplace study type room, and he needs the little helicopter, I think, to get away, if I'm remembering right.
Well, the one I'm talking about, and I thought it was Thunderball. Like, it had they gave it a female name. This helicopter, and they sent a crate over and they assembled it, and it was a helicopter, a small one, and had a ton of weapons on it. So he was flying around in this thing, and so shooting missiles and all that stuff.
Beep, beep,
And
beep,
back
beep.
then, that was so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, Bond back then, if you wanted to see great special effects, you saw it in Bond movies.
Yes, they didn't CGI shit.
Well, no, I mean, it was prior. I mean, there were ones where they're flying in the air, and I'm like,
Well,
hope they don't mess this up.
And it's fucking the Pierce Brosnan ones. People love him, and I get it. His performance was never the low light of it. Those movies, for the most part, suck so bad. There's a couple ones that are still okay.
Yeah.
Some of them. The one with Halle Berry, I believe, and there's CGI, but it sucks so fucking bad. It's like it mars the entire run that Pierce Brosnan had.
Yeah.
He had the worst scripts to roll with. I'm a Roger Craig guy. Not Roger Craig.
Roger Moore.
No.
Sean Connery.
The last guy to do it. Craig.
Oh, Roger Craig.
Is it
No.
Roger Craig?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. I'm a Daniel Craig guy, honestly. But Connery's very, that close behind
Craig,
him.
I mean, because everybody's like, Sean Connery's Bond, Sean Connery. And, but then Daniel Craig really has done a great job as Bond. He's been a very good Bond. And they made a very good decision to bring him in because the franchise was just really bland, getting really bland. But they've made so many movies. I mean, you think about sequels. I mean, that's what Bond is. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like the ultimate sequel movie. It's made several $1 billion.
But there's so many novels. And
I think they're out of novels. Ian Fleming was the original writer of Bond. Now, I don't know if someone's taken up the mantle because he's dead. I'm almost sure. Ian Fleming. And I said one time they said who Bond was actually based on, and he wasn't an English person. He was somebody
Scottish, I think.
No, he wasn't even that. I mean, he was like Middle Eastern or something, or from Eastern Europe.
That's racist.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, why is that racist? What do you do that to me?
I kid. But
I feel bad.
Apparently, I think Christopher Lee, as someone on my letterbox said that Christopher Lee was partially he inspired James Bond, which is funny because he ends up playing the man with the golden gun.
No, how? I mean, did he work as a spy?
He was in the military in World War II.
Well, the guy I'm talking about, it might be Christopher Lee. Okay, Ian Fleming's been dead forever.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that you really wanted to look that up. I don't know when he wrote the books, but it was a while
3
ago.
years after I was born, so I'm pretty sure. That was. It's like asking, is William G. Harding dead?
Fun fact: Christopher Lee and Ian Fleming were cousins and served alongside each other in the war. Lee was Fleming's inspiration in creating James Bond. That's what someone said. I don't know if that's fact. Gummy, if you pulled a fast one on me, well, I'll see you in hell. But he might have. We'll double check that on the fly. But yeah, that was one of the comments on my review for that film. And if it's true, it's a fun fact. If it's not true, then we all get to have a little laugh together. But yeah, I think James Bond, spy films, action, women, gadgets, most guys are going to be into that, and I think most dads are really going to appreciate that. And that's why I chose the Roger Moore and the Sean Connery ones, because I think for most dads, those are probably your Bonds. If you're a little younger, Roger Moore is probably your guy. But if you're old enough to have watched Sean Connery while he was doing the damn thing, he's probably makes the most sense for him to be your James Bond.
Yeah. Okay, so it was an amalgamation of different people he met during the war.
Is there any mention of Christopher Lee?
No, there is not.
And did Christopher Lee serve in the war with Ian Fleming? Just check that. And while you do that,
Should I just look at Christopher Lee's bio so I know everything about him?
that would be a good episode.
Did Christopher...
While you look that up, just yes or no, have you seen The Great Escape?
I did, yeah.
We can discuss that after a brief message from our sponsors. Do you have dogs?
Do I?
Do they poop soft? If you want to firm up your dog's poop, give them...
Oh, we're doing commercials now.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a
Wood
good name.
shavings. Did you know that? If they eat wood shavings, it'll firm up their poop.
Wow.
The only bad thing is they won't eat them.
You gotta get the flavored ones. Potpourri.
No, the colored pencils have flavors. Did you know that?
Like, they taste
Like the
different?
red ones, yeah, the lead tastes like cherry.
I have a Marine buddy who swears by them.
Color pencils? Or wood
Oh,
shavings?
no, crayons.
Oh, yeah. I don't eat
I don't.
those
You didn't
anymore.
even say crayons. My mistake.
Yeah, that was stupid.
The Marines do eat crayons, though, is what I've been told, and that's a fact.
You're going to have to explain that. Are you just being weird?
Trying to be a funny guy,
Trying to...
but yeah, I
Christopher
think
Lee earned with... No! Christopher Lee did not serve with Ian Fleming, but they were step-cousins. Lee was offered the role of Dr. No in the first James Bond film. So, let me tell you how wrong you were. No, but
well, there was some fact to it. I'm glad we cleared it up.
something interesting, yeah. So, there's
And
something
they
I
were
read...
cousins, so that part was right. I guess.
Step-cousins.
Yeah, fucking. What are cousins, anyways?
I don't know. A step-cousin, I guess I could try to think about what that is if I cared that much. But I don't. So...
Well, hit me with yours. We'll go to
I
The
got
Great
s-
Escape next.
Oh, God. Do you think that movie was that good?
I think it's a good hangout.
The only part
movie.
of it is what's his
There's
name tries
Nazis.
to jump over a barbed wire fence on a motorcycle.
Well, that's like towards the end, big dog.
Well, I know, but that's the...
The whole time you have this super fucking jam-packed all-star cast that are working
Just
together
standing
trying
around.
to building tunnels.
Ooh. Tunnel building is
Do you
pretty
know
exciting.
the it's called hangout movies? Where the movie, it's almost like you just getting to hang out with
With those
the
guys?
characters.
As they dig tunnels. No, I hear you. I understand. I get it.
Hit me with yours. I guess we'll skip The Great Escape, but at least it's
No,
getting
we can
its
go back
due
to it. We can go
diligence.
back to it.
Or it mentioned.
We can go back to it. I'm going to mention one that I thought was cool. And not many people are going to be aware of this movie. And if you ever get a chance to watch it, and maybe give it a shot. It's a sports movie in a way. It's called Vision Quest. Matthew Modine is in it.
And you hate him, though.
I do hate him, but he's really good in this movie. But, so he's in high school. So you have to, realize this is an older movie. And he's a wrestler, and he
He's
wants
trying
to
to cut
wrestle.
weight.
Yeah, but he's wrestling this guy who's supposed to be, like, crazy good. I mean, almost, like, legendary good for a high school kid. And there's a scene in there where Modine, this guy, I mean, he just, apparently this kid, wrestler, he's carrying, like, a log over
On
his...
stadium steps.
Yes. I guess you saw it, huh?
No, not yet. I've seen the preview, and I was gonna watch it, but I ended up watching something else.
In Matthew, he's there. I'm going to try to challenge you for, using good luck or something like that. But, the ending is, in my opinion, really suspenseful and just well done and just good.
I would like wrestling movies, and professional wrestling movies. I think. I want to watch Foxcatcher. I've seen the documentary on the true story, but
Yeah, let me think about Foxcatcher. It's odd because he was an odd cat. He was a really strange
the
guy.
DuPont guy
Yeah, he was a strange guy.
fucking killed David Schultz, who a lot of people is like one of the best wrestlers
Yeah.
of America.
Right.
But
Well respected.
yeah, a lot of people only have great things to say about him.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks that DuPont guy was a fucking really weird guy.
Yeah, he was a weird cat. He was a man child, and he wanted to hang around wrestlers, because, he admired them because they were tough guys, and he was just this bizarre. What's his name? Steve Carell did pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's a role that you can really get a lot out of. You can go weird,
He didn't overdo it. I mean, you just like, he was cringy weird. Mm-hmm. Like, I wouldn't want to hang out with that. Something about him, I just would not want to be around him. You know? So, but anyway, Vision Quest. I would watch that movie. I mean, it's going to be different than what.
Fighters swear by that movie. They're like, it changed my life. Some people really like that movie. So
Vision Quest?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's something about it. Interesting. Do you have one? Do you want to?
Well,
that we could make fun of?
You want to mention or talk about The Great Escape?
Well, so that's a hangout movie, right?
Which
is fine. It has
Charles Bronson, Steve McQueen, a lot of others who are names of that time that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
Enough to.
No, I think it was like almost an ensemble cast type thing.
Super good cast. Yeah. And I like it more than The Dirty Dozen, and I like it more than. There's another Steve McQueen movie that's very much ensemble cast that has Jules Brenner in it. That's also really good.
They should remake Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, that's the one that has...
Charles Bronson's in that, right?
I think so. I think Jim Brown is in it? But the main guy is... I
don't know.
Lee Marvin, I think.
Yes. Yeah. I think Jim Brown would have been too young.
It has John Cassavetes is in it for sure. I know Cassavetes is in it. That one's good. I think it has the guy who plays Blowfield. Is it Donald Pleasance is maybe in it? He's the bald guy who's like crazy.
I don't remember. I mean, I know it's Blowfield. He was the Bond villain. Blowfield. Nobody, except maybe Christopher Walken, who was a Bond villain in one. Can't remember which one, but he was. I mean, Christopher Walken's just. He could do a commercial, and I would think,
he was in the one with the black chick.
Right, Grace. No.
She was good friends with the guy who played Ivan Drago.
Oh, really?
I can't remember her name. It's but yeah, I know the one. Yeah, it's basically Christopher Walken kind of plays Donald Trump so much that they have to put a warning that they didn't base it off of him.
No, they didn't. Donald Trump was probably 20 years old then. That's an old movie. I'm going to say
he was 76. But I don't know.
Do you know how many years ago that was? 50. How old would Trump be? He's 79 now. All right, he would have been 29. He wasn't running New York at that. No, don't shake your head.
I mean, might have been. Maybe it was in the 80s.
He played a psychotic. One guy, he got all these people together on a dirigible.
I don't know what that is.
That's a blimp. You idiot. All right,
call it a Zeppelin then.
A Zeppelin. They're called dirigibles.
Don't be a...
So the one guy, there's 5 of them around. They're coming up with some diabolical plan. And they said, you in. And this one guy said, no, I don't think I'm into this. So he pressed a button, which Christopher Walken, he flew out of the bottom. He slid out of the bottom.
I love that scene so much. By the way, check out my James Bond retrospective if you enjoy us talking about it. Because it was a good-ass video. One of my best. One of my very best.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying we'll really be sad.
I mean, if you...
Do you want to make nice people sad? I don't think you do.
I really, truly do think that James Bond is pinnacle dad movies. I truly do believe that.
No, yeah, I think you're right. You're absolutely right. And you think about how many of them. Because
27 total if you count the original Casino Royale. Which was a
Peter
parody.
Sellers?
Yeah, it's a parody of James Bond films.
James Bond. So, I'm
Sucks.
like, oh, I love Thunderball. That was such a cool movie. And then it's like, okay, we got to do a book report. I don't know what grade I was in. Probably middle school. I'm going to do Thunderball.
And I got it and I started reading. I'm like, wow, what a mistake I made. This is like
Is the book that bad?
legit.
It's not that it's that bad. It's like, back in those days, I mean, read all the time now. Back then, I mean, if I read like something that was 30 pages over a period of a month, it was a big deal. So this was written by Ian Fleming. I'm saying it's literature, but he was a very talented writer, and he wasn't,
He was probably a lot more
verbose, and
exactly
I can't think of another cool word to say, but
advanced.
yeah,
Reading.
I was trying to think of a eloquent, what shall we say, or urbane,
Shamasay, maybe.
shamasay.
I think that's how it's
That's
goes.
how I greet people now, and they look at me the weirdest way when I do that.
Okay, I was wrong. It was not Roger Moore. It was Roger Moore. It was A View to a Kill, and I believe her name is Grace Jones.
Okay, I was going to say Grace Slick, but that's not it.
It
She
is
was from
Grace
Eric
Jones.
Jefferson Airplane.
So it was in 85, and Trump was kind of running shit by then.
Really?
I think. Wasn't he?
He was probably in college.
No, man. One of the WrestleMania 6 was in Trump Plaza.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't wealthy, but so
WrestleMania 1 was
listen,
85.
Listen, we can put this all to bed. Did they have a warning thing regarding Christopher Walken?
It does not mention Donald Trump by name, but I looked up why, because I'm like, who's this supposed to be? Because he's blonde, he's really rich, and
There's
you're
1,000 guys like that.
like Trump.
No, like the
That have
character
the name,
Christopher Walken.
the name value, the personality, and the wealth that Trump has.
You are high.
It'd be like
Again.
if you made an electric or like.
Did you make this up? I think you did. I think you think it could be true and have no knowledge.
I just looked it up and people were saying I think they did that so that they could avoid people saying you were.
What was the warning that they said?
This
Christopher
character,
Walken. Character.
This
is not,
character is not based on any real person.
Well,
Saying
no, kid. That doesn't mean they're
they
Trump.
don't do that every movie.
I think
They
have
don't
a
do
thing
that.
on
They
it.
don't do that every movie. No, they do not.
All right.
Look it up.
I'm gonna just.
Look it up. I don't know what you're gonna look up, but
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
But anywho,
You can't prove it's not true.
I'm telling you, just look up if there's a warning and take my word for it.
All right.
Because I was
can look
watching
that
them in relatively quick succession. They don't do that every movie. There has to be a reason. Or look up, was Christopher Walken Bond based on Trump? I'm not saying he was, but I think they wanted to very much avoid a defamation case because his character is so similar to Trump. And I'm not saying I dislike Trump by any means and that, oh, that's what Trump's like. I'm just saying that was why they put that warning at the beginning. And then I expect you to give me a movie after you're done. But, in the heated debate, you got to fact check. You got to get the numbers right.
Okay, there was
There
a
was the
warning that it was not it was not based on any real life company or person. But I mean, I don't think anything to do with
Just look up, was Christopher Walken based on Trump? And people will be like, yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, you're wrong, but I'll look it up.
And in the meantime, the people got to know. If you've ever argued with your dad, sometimes
You're gonna lose.
getting a win is more meaningful than the sun coming up in the morning. It's more meaningful than a cold breeze on a summer day. It's more meaningful than rain in a drought. So when you have the opportunity to really stick it to your old man, you better take it and you best come correct. And that's what this podcast is really all about. Because if you don't honor the men who paved the way by...
I love the song by Duran Duran, "A View to a Kill." I still think that's an awesome song. I love that song.
It's just Duran Duran. I like other Bond songs more.
Name one.
Skyfall's really good.
Sing it.
When the sky falls,
Oh, that
when
sucks.
it crumbles.
Oh my god.
I had a playlist actually. Oh, and there's another one by Billie Eilish that's actually really good. It's
Okay.
one of the not fucking Roger Craig, Daniel Craig ones. It's a good song. I'd play it, but we'd get the episode copyrighted. All right, no more looking stuff up. Just me and you talking.
I can do like multitask.
No, because I have to carry the weight for you while you're looking stuff up.
No, you don't.
So
I'm not looking. I'm so close. In a view to a kill.
we're gonna get copyright striked if you sing it like that. You're too good.
Too close.
I'm gonna have to recommend another movie if you keep looking
Well,
up
hit
whatever.
it. Go.
Fist of Fury. In my opinion, Bruce Lee is probably the childhood hero of a lot of dads out there.
Bruce Lee? He was
Yeah.
a big... Did you say Bruce Lee?
Yeah. Were you gonna say he was a big Asian man? Big Asian
No, he was
freak?
a big... He was a big deal when he first... In this, like, early 70s.
Yeah.
That just whole kung fu, karate... We didn't know what it was. I mean, I didn't as a kid. When you see it, it's like, wow, that's awesome.
So, okay, I'll give it to you. I don't know.
Kung Fu's cool. Kung Fu movies are pretty cool. Especially Bruce Lee. If Bruce Lee's in it. Fist of Fury is my current favorite right now. But
Did you see Enter the Dragon?
I think I saw that one. I need to watch The Way of the Dragon. There's 2 dragon movies. I've only seen the first
Maybe
one.
it is Way of the Dragon.
Well, there's 2.
But one of them's supposed to be... no, you're right. Maybe it is Enter the Dragon. I think you're right.
I think Enter the Dragon's the first one. But yeah, Fist of Fury's cool. Just the combat. It's just cool watching one dude just beat the shit out of like 20 guys.
Yeah.
And I still like that today. Scenes like Old Boy, the hallway scene, if you've ever seen that.
God, yes, you've told me about this.
The Raid. But that has guns. But there's some physical combat.
Steven Seagal was actually really good in one movie.
That's what I've heard, yeah. And everything else
I
sucked.
can't remember. Yeah, because they said he's such a
Douchebag, too. He was on a ship that had nuclear weapons. Who else? Tommy Lee Jones was in it.
Great actor.
Yeah, much younger. I can't remember the name, but you guys, you were interested. Actually, I'd actually recommend that movie. Knowing the name would probably be way helpful, but you can look it up.
Yeah, I'll put the poster up as we talk about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen some of his movies. Oh my God. I mean, look, he knows Aikido.
Mm-hmm.
That's his. Which isn't really, it's Aikido, and I've heard Joe Rogan say this, and me and him, we talk.
You're good buds.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He is a good guy. He lent me $10. I still owe him that. Is if someone has a sword and they're trying to like chop your head off,
You can disarm them.
yeah, that's really how the basis
It's a good
of that.
skill to have.
Well, if your neighbor has a sword, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I won't go on and on about that. But he's just a dick. Like I saw him one time. He was in a movie. He had a towel. He was using his towel to do all these karate or martial arts moves, and it just looks so stupid. But he was in those kind of movies. He's probably like, "Hey, man, you need a martial arts guy? I don't care how bad it is. I'll do it." Mm-hmm.
Well, I've heard there's scenes where he'll like be sitting on a bench, or not a bench, a stool.
chair?
Yeah, like a stool while he's fighting.
Yeah.
He's just a lazy fucker. I'll take that check.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, I don't, for some reason I've been watching these things where they're talking about fake masters who fight like legit MMA guys. Mm-hmm. And just the ridiculous, stupid things these fake masters do on these videotapes. They don't even touch a person, and they make them fall down. And
All of those are like pretty much bullshit.
Well, they're so hilarious, though, if you watch them. And then they fight a legit guy, and he lasts like 8 seconds.
I don't know why
They'd have to
they
be
go
insane.
through with it. You think they would just be putting that off like a catfish meeting up with the person that
Yeah,
catfished?
I wouldn't do it. I mean, you don't have any skills at all.
I'm assuming those people who actually meet.
I think they have mind control or something, and they just get punched in the face repeatedly, and then probably get out of the game completely. Because everybody knows you're a fraud.
Yeah, I mean that's the end of the grift after that.
It's over.
Once it's exposed. But hit me with one of your movies if you don't mind.
All right, okay, T1 and T2. I like T1 better. So, and I know a lot of people like T2. I mean, we don't have to get into it too much. Fight Club.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
And I kind of, and we'll get into the film, but I want to
That's a real social movie. I mean, it's a guy movie, and it's gritty and whatnot, but it's like the original Rollerball. Oh, another one. Rollerball for guys back in the day was it. It was so cool. But there's a lot of deeper meaning to both of those movies than just the violence and the action and stuff like that.
Yeah, which I think is something that we'll cover. So this is going to be a very roundabout way of getting to this, but film bro is a term not of endearment, kind of derogatory, and there's select movies and directors, whatever, that are very much kind of lumped into movies that film bros will watch. Is it coincidental that we're doing dad movies and Fight Club gets brought up? I think not, because I think we're not so much kind of covering, it's kind of like childhood movie or childhood favorites or coming of age movies that appeal to men. But film bros,
Give me an example of like a film bro would like, or in that
Fight Club is like in the Mount Rushmore.
Probably Scarface is in that too, right?
You could say, yeah. They say if you love Christopher Nolan, but so what they've described, and it's a term that got thrown around so much that it has lost all meaning. But people are like, "Oh, Fight Club, bro, that's the best movie of all time." It's a great movie, and it doesn't just because you find greatness in that movie doesn't mean you're a film bro. But I only bring it up for conversation to kind of bring up, look, like it's kind of just a way to demonize the films that men. You get inspired by these characters, Tyler Durden, and it's easy for that because Durden in the end is supposed to be someone that you inevitably find fault in. He's painted as he's a false messiah of sorts.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to recognize that towards the end, but despite it all, you still end up liking him because throughout the movie he's so charismatic. And that's why he is what he is. He is the person that Edward Norton wants to be.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And that's supposed to appeal to all men, especially like as
they don't want to care. They want to have women.
Yeah, you want to feel like you're part of something too. Yeah, you want to be tough.
Yeah, true.
There's just but that's
not
part of the greatness of the movie though too.
Well, yeah, that's one
And if it was
part of the plot, but the bigger part of the plot is him and Tyler Durden. Durden. What's
Edward Norton.
Whatever his name is.
The narrator.
He doesn't have a name. That's right. They're the bottom rank of society. They do all the stuff, but in the end, they're nihilists. They're anarchists, and they want to bring it all down. So I mean, it's a revolution. It's about the bottom rank of society that people don't notice and rising up and destroying the current, because they're trying to destroy all the banks. Mm. So to wipe out all, people with money, debt, everything, and just start all over
even
again.
the playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because in Edward
Or
Norton,
they're just sick of it. It's not like they want to necessarily restart anything. They just don't want it to be what it is now.
yeah, and it's funny that on a dad movie episode, it's brought up. It's in the book, Chuck Palahniuk goes over the theory that growing up to men, their God or their Christ is just theoretically is supposed to be their dad growing up. It's like the Superman is supposed to be your dad as a child, and that like that generation I guess would be Gen X maybe not, maybe the generation after the boomer. Well, I think Gen X is the one in between millennial and baby boomers.
Yeah.
Is that they kind of, you know, whatever, they aren't looked upon favorably by their dad, who is like, and it's like, or have like parents who are there but are absent, and it kind of breaks their, it's like growing up without religion in a way, but it's like, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And you know, that kind of plays in, or it's similar to like Nirvana, like
The
Kurt
band?
Cobain. Yes. Where that, I've read some about like him, because he wrote some stuff, some like kind of interesting, but you know, odd. And they're latchkey kids, they're called them. A lot of times they were, you know, broken families. And so they, you know, that's what the whole grunge was. They just, I don't know, they didn't have that connection with their parents or their father or whatever. And, you know, they were lost.
Right. Because when you do think of the baby boomers, it's very much, you imagine, and it definitely wasn't this way for all, you imagine the nuclear family, the idealistic family, the American dream is being lived. These people that came back from the war, and they have their house, they have their wife, they have their 2 kids, and all is well.
You know, we were the envy of the world. You know.
And then the generation to follow probably felt like, we don't, and this is direct from the movie, but there is no Great War. There's no, you know what I mean, like
Defining moment
exactly
for them to become great men.
They just they have no meaning. They have to find their meaning.
Yeah. So that movie, you know, Fight Club, it's not. What did you call it with Film Bro or whatever?
Film Bro, yeah.
It's not a Film Bro movie. It's not. In one way it is if you look at it a certain way. But it's far beyond that. It's far more deeper. I mean, that's... He did it. He wrote a really good book, but in, you know, a very good movie, but it's way deeper than... You can look at it in a surface way, you know, very shallow way.
Yeah. Well, I think... yeah.
And the deeper part is like
if
what
you
you
get
just
it,
explained.
If you get it, and also, and I don't know why I'm like defining this thing that is such a fucking useless and stupid term, but it's like if this is the only movie you swear by, it's like, oh, like, you know what I mean? If it's like the pinnacle of, and if it's your favorite movie, like personally, that's a good movie to be a favorite movie because,
Yeah,
like you said, it is deep. There's a lot to read into. But if you know, there's a lot of other movies too to appreciate. Is basically
another
what
one
they're
would be
saying.
Wall Street.
Well, I would have to watch that too. But it is funny how it just seems like Gen X. Yeah, they get the raw end of the deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like they are the silent generation in a way in America.
Yeah, I think they're making themselves known a bit.
Well, was it Gen X that would have served in Vietnam, or would that be baby boomers?
That was baby boomers.
Okay. You would think they would be the ones with...
I mean, those guys
of
are older
angst.
than me, and I'm considered a baby boomer. Those guys
Oh.
are, you know.
I'm stupid.
No, I mean, you wouldn't think I'm a baby boomer, but I am.
I'm last
Well,
year.
it makes sense because your dad served in, or both your parents served in World War II.
Right.
And that's by I mean, that's what it is.
That's by definition, right.
Yeah. So I don't know how I got confused there, but
Well, you don't know that.
oh well, Gen X would have been okay. People who are trying to think of the word disenfranchised or disillusioned. They are the Middle East wars.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term. And I know Vietnam, I mean, they were getting spat on and shit like that. But
Yeah.
I think
That was horrid what they did to some of those guys.
it was drawn out longer than I think a lot of people coming out of the Middle Eastern wars are kind of like, I lost a leg and I don't know why I was there.
PTSD, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had it bad too, really bad.
You're like, I went to Afghanistan or I went to Iraq and I
Some
don't
of
know
them
why
were
the
on
fuck I
multiple
was
tours. Right. I mean, they had little more support, I think, than Vietnam, but
there. Well, certainly after September 11th.
yeah, right,
But
right. But then
the
it
majority
ran-
of the
it wore
assailants
off.
were from Saudi Arabia. Just
There was no one to start a war with regarding 9/11. I mean, Afghanistan is. They call Afghanistan the empire killer, because like you get involved in it and it just sucks up your resources and you can't affect any type of change. They just
but
they will
because
never,
of the terrain or
just
the,
everything. It's like they're never going to change. What they do, who they are. Mm-hmm. It's a very very primitive country.
It's very
terrain part
rural,
of it.
right? It's not. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
very urban or densely populated.
Correct. Yeah.
So
I mean, there's cities there and everything, but I mean, you're never going to change. There's nothing. No way to change it.
yeah.
You can't change. You really can't change.
We
any country.
we had goaded the Soviets into fighting them, and then we
No, well, maybe, but we helped Afghans against the Soviets. It was
from
called
what
the Mujahideen.
Hadeen, I think.
Mujahideen, yeah.
From
We
what
taught
I
them-
heard is that we created the narrative that they needed to fight them, the Soviets, and because we wanted to
wanted
suck
them
them
to.
into a proxy war.
Oh, we wanted them to, yeah, for sure. I don't know what we did exactly in order to get them, and we
Basically, like they have weapons of mass destruction type of narrative before we used it.
Well, I think you could be right. I don't know how. Like I said, like they're not going to believe us at that time, because we were rivals. We can't say, oh yeah, you should start a war here. They'd be like, no, that's okay. But if somehow through spies or whatever we were able to get them to believe that, then that was
But then we fell for it.
Yeah,
And we fought them, and they had Soviet weapons because of what
they had
did.
American weapons.
Well, now they do.
They did then.
Well, yeah, because we were funding them against the Soviets.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie Tom Hanks is in it about him and Seymour Hoffman's in it. About
I'd want to watch. Oh, I think I know the one I haven't seen it, but I want to watch it.
it wouldn't be bad to watch that movie and get it in its historical sense, because that's what it was about. There was a congressman from like Texas who like literally even said almost in the movie, it's like, it's red. I'm never going to get, I don't have to. He didn't do anything. I mean, he didn't, you know what I mean? He didn't have to. So we got involved in that, and he helped increase funding for them to fight the Soviets. And we're the ones who taught them how to use RPGs to take down helicopters.
Smart move.
Well, be careful what you teach people that could end up being your enemies, because that's,
Yeah.
if you Black Hawk down, that's that's what happened there.
Mogadishu. Hit me with another one, if you would.
If there's any cool ones. The Godfather, Matrix. Super guy movie. The one scene, they're unprecedented.
You're saying The Matrix is the godfather of dad movies.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying both The Godfather and
no.
The Matrix.
No, Matrix, the scene in the building
when him and Trinity go in dressed completely in black, and they walk through the magnometer, and it's like beep beep beep, and they just go insane.
Yeah, that's a badass gunfight, choreography, everything. They just shoot the shit out of some concrete blocks, and yeah, that's cool as fuck. And that whole movie is very groundbreaking too for
Yeah.
introducing simulation theory into film in a way that has stuck in the zeitgeist ever since.
Yeah.
There's still terminology used today revolving around
Glitch in the Matrix. I still
red
say.
blue or red pill,
Red pill.
blue pilled. And I mean, we're about an hour in, so I think it's okay to talk about just vaguely, and just because it's interesting, nothing else. But do you think the Matrix had any inspiration on Columbine? That scene specifically.
I'd heard about what they call them, the trench coat mafia. Mm-hmm. I heard that was not a real thing. That those two, I can't remember, Klebold, I think was the name of one of them. And I just read this. It's so weird. I just read that all the different kind of theories regarding like why they did it and who they were and all that were not true. I think they just hated jocks, but I'm not sure. Because
they like created narratives that were really fucking weird. So it was 1999, April 20th, 1999. Remember that. I just want to see, when did Matrix come out? Because they talked about natural born killers in their writings a lot. They said we're natural born killers, which is the film written by Tarantino, directed by Roger Stone, I believe.
Yeah, that Woody Harrelson in.
And the chick. And it also has that comedian. Oh, can't get in any respect.
Dangerfield.
Yeah, he's the dad of the woman who's dating Woody Harrelson.
Right. I never saw that movie.
So apparently March 31st, so that would have came out literally
just before it.
Yeah. And I wonder, because you see the tapes, which is where you first see the trench coats come out. I wonder when those were filmed, because it would have had to be fucking within like a couple week window of the shooting.
Okay.
If it were to be inspired by that. It's just, the thing is, it's long trench coats like they wore in The Matrix.
Right, yeah.
They talked about fat cats, which that's like a...
Old
yeah, it
term.
sounds like a noir reference.
No. That's almost like an Occupy Wall Street term.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking black and white film. Gangsters. Oh, fat cats. I don't know what that...
That just means rich people.
Yeah, right. But to them, you know, I know it's a term that's also used in regular people
Popular
speak.
people were the big men on campus or whatever.
They were using it, so I don't know. There's a rabbit hole when it comes to them. There was one of the kids, the ringleader, who was not the blonde one, but the brunette guy. He like broke some girl's windshield, and then they said like the cops and like the mayor like abused them like sexually whenever they got reprimanded for doing that.
Oh, really?
They said that. I don't fucking believe it. I think that they were just the type of, I was going to say a bad word, but for them, I think you can use any slur you like.
Yeah.
But
you don't have a lot of fans.
Yeah.
Columbine was really upper middle class. It's a you know.
I believe it.
I mean, I'm not saying that means anything. I'm just saying, because I worked for a company that we used to go to schools, and he had Columbine as one of his schools. Mm-hmm. You know, and after Columbine, it changed the security in schools everywhere. But anyway, Columbine was one of his schools, and he would go there and stuff like that. But it was a very well-to-do area.
for that school.
To me,
That
it probably fits the narrative even with what we know now. You know, there are school shootings that are like drug deals that count as a school shooting.
Yeah.
But then you have like the classic definition of what it is.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes more sense. It's the disillusioned
Yeah.
people, a la Fight Club.
Yeah.
That it's like they think they deserve more than what they are getting now. And it doesn't matter if they're actually bullied, because apparently, like, the one kid wasn't bullied, and I think the other one might have, he did well with girls, but I think the friend who looked up to him didn't do well with girls. Yeah. And I think that might have been his motivation. He looked up to the other one.
In every high school, there's tons of those kids. I mean,
yeah, they just don't.
They don't fit in.
Well, not even they expect to be. Honestly, I think they had God complexes.
Oh, really?
And that's why they.
One was real smart, I think, because he was going to take advanced calc the next year, and he was all excited about having gotten accepted to do that at a very good school. You know, because it was a high standard school. So I didn't realize that they had that like delusions of grandeur.
That's what I think, at least, because they were looking at the death toll, and we've seen this in years following this, but they wanted to like
up it,
have high numbers.
Yeah.
So you're looking at infamy. They want infamy, but you have to look at why does one look at that? They felt they had been wronged. This is their revenge, and this will cement their place in history.
Yeah.
And I guess,
well, it did.
Yeah, I mean, we're still talking about them, but as losers, because
yeah, but well,
now your bloodline ends.
Yeah,
and that's what you get when you're just you think more than what you are.
Yeah, shit, I had a thought in my head. I can't remember what it was.
And rather than
their death toll could have been like triple. They had pipe bombs.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, either they didn't work or they didn't use them or what.
I think they were too busy having homosexual sex with each other to set the timer correctly. If you ever watched Elephant, that's the one thing that movie by Gus Van Sant gets right, is he makes them butt buddies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but were they? I mean, you could do that, but...
They're willing to die for each other. I mean, I know in the military, but they're just friends in high school.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they had similar crazy goals.
I think the one just looked up to the other one.
Yeah.
I think the blonde hair.
That's common when you have like
two. Yeah, there's one who's
dominant.
Yeah.
And the other one
submissive.
Yeah, I don't
Figure it out.
It could be.
I'm not saying 100%, but I like to perpetuate that narrative.
Is that conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
I read I bought the book Columbine. I think I still have it. Wow, that's like 800 pages long. And as interesting as it is, I mean, I've read books about the Second World War that were shorter than this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much you can really talk about, but they talk about it.
I guess you could have every victim and bystanders.
I'd have to look back and see how they made it that long.
If they covered a lot of the two beforehand and all that, well, because there's a lot of tapes that they refuse to release to the public.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they call them the basement tapes.
So they videotape themselves?
A lot, yeah, because they had that school project where the trench coat mafia was coined.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did home videos too as they were practicing, doing target practice, and then they went into their ideology as well, which that's the tapes that aren't released to the public. But
why not? They
I don't
release
know.
all the manifestos of other people.
I know. I don't know. I guess they just.
I mean, I kind of understand why they don't want to, but it's in a public
Yeah, I'm assuming they didn't. They just
Public,
didn't use it
whatever.
for evidence, and then you don't necessarily have to release it. Because I think
Yeah,
if you
but the
used it in the
thing's over.
trial,
What trial? They killed it. They got killed.
well, exactly. So it's just I don't know how that works.
Right, right.
Because otherwise, you would think they would have to release. You would
In the
think just
public interest. That's the term I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
It isn't. It is. I mean,
To know why they
even
did it.
now, people would be interested to watch that. It'd make an incredible documentary. There isn't one already on that. I mean, that's a 5-part
Oh my
documentary.
god, yeah. You'd think the money men would get after that, but I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up, not to sully the name of the Matrix, because I like the Matrix. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I just thought as a discussion point it would be worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with to close out this pod for me, and then you can add as many as you'd like. But it's an Alfred Hitchcock movie, North by Northwest. Cary Grant.
I know.
I've seen it. But you like really old movies. Like, that is old.
1959.
Okay, so just do the math.
Hitchcock is one of the best directors of
So
all time.
that's 66 years old.
Well, the Mona Lisa is pretty old too.
Okay, well, movies and certain paintings, are all the paintings from back then masterpieces?
No, but the masterpieces are still masterpieces. And this one, you're gonna make me. It's not a masterpiece. It's a great movie, though.
I know. I maybe I don't think
Is
I've
it
seen
Hitchcock's best? No. But it's most.
Is it a guy
it's
movie?
Very much a guy movie because Cary Grant is put in a position in which he's not a spy, but he gets mistaken as a spy, and so he must defend himself.
I know there's a plane chasing him or something.
That's the coolest part.
Yeah.
He's like in a field. He was gonna go on a bus, and this plane comes by with the gun.
Strafing.
Yeah, that's the best part of the movie. And they fight on the Mount Rushmore
Ooh.
at the end. Yeah,
But they wouldn't let you do that now.
I don't think they actually filmed on the actual Mount
Okay,
Rushmore.
So I feel stupid now.
That's okay.
Well, back then I thought, it wouldn't be a good way to do that other than to just
Actually
do it.
Yeah, I think they just built
Oh, yeah.
out a set. But Cary Grant is one of the G's of that time period, without a doubt.
He was considered like the most like
Handsome.
charming man
Yeah.
of his time.
So
Attractive.
what Steve McQueen is to cool, I'm just going to throw a word out there without fully knowing the definition. I'd say Cary Grant is
Debonair?
debonair.
Yep. He would be debonair.
Did you pick up on it when I mispronounced definition? Is that how you knew I was
I
going
don't
to
know.
say that?
I don't know, just thought that was a fitting word. So I just
Yeah, I feel like it is for him.
Yeah. In his time.
Charming as hell,
Yeah.
oozing charisma.
Yeah.
I never used to really know what charisma meant, and I do now.
You know what it initially means? What
No.
the actual, like, when you go back to the actual original definition, meaning, what does it mean? It means charisma means to have, like, the abilities of Christ. It's got something to do with Christ. Like stigma, you've heard of that word, right?
I've heard stigmata.
Stigmata, yeah. I want to look at the word origin for, like, having a, Christ could perform miracles, so.
Well, he was probably the most charismatic guy ever to meet. If you met someone who turned water into wine, you'd be like, you gotta fucking meet this guy. He's
Correct.
just making bread. Right? What did he do?
No, he made bread. No. They
Turned
had a
bread
couple
into
loaves
fish?
of bread and several fish, and there were like 300 people there, and he was able to,
Feed them all?
yeah. All right, I'm sorry. So charisma was used in ancient Greece to describe the personality of gods and goddesses. So I got that wrong.
You're very close, though.
Close.
But, yeah, walking on water? It would be like, I mean, the modern day equivalent is like if you have a really good pickup line for ladies. It's not
Yeah.
quite, or, you know, it's not quite walking on water, but it's a good start.
Okay, so in English, that was a Greek origin. In English, charisma was originally used in Christian context to refer to a gift or power bestowed upon an individual by the Holy Spirit. By the Holy Spirit. So that's okay. Let's see what it means in Sumerian.
Oh my God.
I like word origins.
That's why you're so good at the spelling bee.
I like words. I don't know why. I mean, it seems like I forget a new word every day, but I like them anyway. I used to really be into them. I should have went into
So
some.
when you read a lot, it definitely increases your vernacular. But let me know one if you have any that I've seen. Let's end it on that.
Well, we end on Kingdom of Heaven then. I think that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Did we talk about this last one or not?
I can't remember if it made the cut or not, but
I don't think it was in it. I think we talked about it afterwards.
probably. The
And
one
it's
thing
just-
I'll say, it's great. I like it. Orlando Bloom as the main guy is maybe the only thing that I would consider changing. I'm not saying
No, I agree.
it need be changed, but because you have such a good cast, you have David Thewlis, you have Liam Neeson, you have Edward Norton as the
Leper King.
Leper King, Eva Green, she's all right, but you know Orlando Bloom, he was very much a known commodity.
Yeah.
He was in Lord of the Rings. He was also in. Wasn't it
Pirates of the Caribbean,
Caribbean? Yeah.
which was after, I think, but
Possibly.
he wasn't the best choice, but he was good enough.
He's one of those actors who, and maybe I'm being way too tough on him. There's actors who you're like, they're just picked in these roles because they're good looking.
Yeah.
And some of them are good looking and great actors.
Yeah, sometimes I think if they're too attractive, it takes away from. Like Brad Pitt has done really, like he's a good-looking actor,
But he's played like human garbage. You know what I mean? He'll play like roles where he's, Durden,
Yeah.
Other ones where he was in
Dallas
another
Buyers Club?
movie. Was he?
Dallas Buyers? No, that's McConaughey. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking today.
12 Monkeys.
Yeah.
He was insane in that. I mean, he was really good as just a,
Crazy person.
oh my God. And I love that. I should have brought that.
I have to watch that.
You got to watch 12 Monkeys. It's poignant at the end. The ending is really cool.
Yeah. I actually
If you watch it,
watched,
let me know,
I
'cause I have a
saw
question
the
about
end.
it.
I saw only the end because it was on TV once, and I did not know what the fuck happened. So, and I
Yeah,
haven't
you
watched
gotta
it
watch it.
since then.
Yeah, you got to watch it from the beginning. It's interesting. It's cool. It's about time travel. So,
Those
They made a
movies are
series.
always.
and the way they did it was interesting.
Yeah. So, I would maybe change the leading man, but the battle scenes are really cool though,
Oh my God.
and I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Because the Christians are, even the ones holding Jerusalem, you're like, are they the good guys? But it wasn't like trying to shove Muslim faith and we're the white colonial bad guys, because that, Orlando Bloom does say, he's like, the people who took this 100 years ago, we're not them. Like, no one lived there who had this land taken to them, and no one who took that lives here now.
Right. He had another quote. It was really good. Let me look it up. It had something to, if this is the kingdom of heaven, then, or it's not. This is not the kingdom of heaven.
This isn't worth fighting to the death for Christianity's sake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is not a place considered. Jerusalem is not that.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't remember the quote, and I'll butcher it if I try to paraphrase it. But yeah, a lot of good quotes like that, and super good movie.
Yeah, and you know, war scenes extremely good. Very good action. What is it? Go east until they start speaking Italian.
And then go further until they speak something else.
It's one by Orlando Bloom regarding what is the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, because Liam Neeson kind of sells him on
Jerusalem.
that you can become anything there.
Yeah.
And after he's experienced, like I think he grows to respect the
Upper King?
him, but also the Muslims.
Oh, Saladin.
Saladin, but their
Great.
entire, all of them.
Right.
In that, he has a better understanding.
Yeah, that it's way more complex than the Crusaders wanted to think, or whomever,
Yeah, he's seen good on both sides and evil on his side, and what he's capable of too as a man. Like it's like kind of a coming of age, and that he can have a life outside of, because he was destitute when his wife died. That's how the movie starts. His wife committed suicide,
Oh, okay.
and he was a blacksmith, and he found meaning, and he knew that he is capable of greatness, but also that he doesn't need that.
To be.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be a king to be a great man, and he also, I think, realizes he can be a great man as just a husband and a father.
Okay.
I only saw it the one time, but I think that's what I recall from it as well.
Boy, that quote's going to bother me.
Well, before you get pulled into your phone again, let's end it here.
Yeah, let's end it.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you on the flippity